Hi, welcome to Car Readings. I'm Margaret. It's again on COVID-19. Now, I've got some information here I will share it with you. Now, a few weeks ago, about a month to 6 weeks ago, I got this thing on Facebook. It's Ladies Sunwise. And they were going to do the show Big Brother. Now, if you all don't know, it's been here in Australia and America. It's going on in other countries right now, Big Brother. They're saying they talked about the COVID-19 with the group, with the Big Brother people, and telling what happened. That's okay, that's fine, yeah, and it's good to share information like that, yeah. But then about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I can't remember where I heard it, but I heard they cancelled Big Brother because of the COVID-19. And I thought to myself, that's a good thing. And it is a good thing. I mean, it's something, if this was big, I can relate to why they cancelled it, yeah. So that's good, yeah. Today, I went on this app. I don't know if you get this in America, but it's called 7 Plus and it's connected to Channel 7. And one of the ads was Big Brother coming to Channel 7, 7 Plus. So it's interesting how they say, and I do at the start think if you have an issue, something big like this, yeah, you pass it on, yeah. And I'm not knocking that big. Trust me, I'm not knocking that big. I think it's important if you're in a house with strangers and someone in your family pass, that's a big deal. So I can relate to that. But when you hear about a month later, the show's cancelled, and then you watch this thing on 7 Plus, and that Big Brother's coming, it's another thing in itself. So I thought I want to share that with you. Now, granted, if Big Brother was cancelled over this, I wouldn't care. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it's a show. It's not a huge issue yet. So I thought I would share that with you. Two, I was worried about the holidays. I'll talk to you about this. It's, remember through YouTube or Facebook ago, I talked about how state in Australia, each state has the holidays. And one of the things I knew they would follow through with it, and they did, is we just had holidays finished this week. I would say this Saturday. But before that, we meant to have the holiday. I think it was the Wednesday, but some reason we decided to shut the schools on the Monday related to the virus. So they shut the school and start talking about online learning with the schools. And then this week they did reopen it, but it leave it up to the parents. Yeah, so what happened this morning, I went on Facebook like I always do, and again, I think it was a lady, or maybe not a lady, some ways it maybe was a 7 News thing, because Melissa Dore was on this. And she said, in New South Wales, and this is in New South Wales, they're going to ease the restrictions. One of the things that we will start open up the schools, having certain people coming in at a certain time, people can still start going to the beaches, surfing, walking on the beach. Yeah, and it just sounds like it's just repeating things from one state to another. So I find that really interesting in itself, and I know America's doing the same thing, right? It's really weird actually with America, because one minute I hear they're closing borders. This was last week, they're closing borders. This week I hear they open up certain areas, lifting up certain areas, and I'm thinking, that's interesting. And about 3 weeks ago, everything was shut for 14 days. So it's a lot of, like I said, media is not really working with each other. I feel like it's not working with each other. I did say it from the word go, because I feel like if this was an actual, and like you all know, I think this is all phony. And right from the word go, I said, if this was a real case, a real COVID-19, and hundreds of people dying, thousands of people dying, when you all work together, and I just, like I said, right from the word go, I feel like there's no teamwork related to the media. And it doesn't matter if it's here in Melbourne, Bendigo kind of thing, or in America with, what, I don't know, Today Show, make it, yeah. So it doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I'm saying media is saying one thing, then they're saying something else. And it's normally in that area, because one thing I do agree with, someone said it to me, and I do agree with him, where the thing with news, you do have to think about, there's about 5 different types of news. You got overseas news, then you got your country news, then you got your, like, your region, like Victoria, then your local news. So you really have to think about that too, but you still think you have the same information. Like, say if I died today with 5 other people who, and I was in Bendigo, had a COVID-19, every news should have the same information, wouldn't you? You would think every news has the information. Margaret with 5 other people who died of COVID in Bendigo, and I would say this because it's the only one I would go to Bendigo Hospital, Bendigo Health. You want the same information. You might change it in how you say it, but it's the same information. You want the same information when you really want to say from Sydney, Margaret from Adelaide with 5 other people died, because it's not right. You want Margaret from Bendigo, so you want the same information. So that's what I'm saying, the information is not right, it doesn't work together, yeah? The other thing is, I thought I'd share that with you, because there are misunderstood. I did pass on Facebook. If I could, I would have done this with YouTube. There was a lady out there, and I seen her with other things, and some things are right and some things are wrong. And if I was you, I'll watch it, because it's quite interesting. Media in this way, they are double digging themselves. Media just using this as a story, yeah. I feel like they're using it for story and whatever they want to do with it. And it's kind of, it leads later on to touch about something else, where it's just a story and just making it up. And he just like putting, I would say, medical health people, not your doctors and nurses, these people who kind of resource and all that kind of stuff, yeah. She's putting these people down, getting all the facts right in the government. If you're going to figure people right out, get your facts right. But is the media doing that? Really? I not once heard the media work with each other. It is just simple things like washing your hair, hands, and not touching your face. That's a normal thing. And like I said, with the COVID-19, all the symptoms sounds like the flu to me. Every single thing that sounds like the flu. To yesterday I heard people have these marks on their body. It looks like the measles or chickenpox, I can't remember, but it's one of them too. All but yesterday. Then there was another story out there that people had the COVID-19 and they didn't know about it. And that's the other thing about it. There's a thing on Channel 9. It is on Channel 9. It was on the news and it was on my emails that there was a young baby who caught the COVID-19. And she was only a couple of weeks old, or he was a couple of weeks old. And here we are saying kids are fine going to school. Now, I don't want to freak parents out, but isn't people don't double dick themselves when they say that? Like, kids are fine going to school, but you have a young baby caught the COVID-19. And through this lady, there's a percent of kids, babies in America, I think it's America in a way, who caught the COVID-19. So it really, again, it double ticks itself, the media does. So yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Then we have a young lady, or I call everyone young lady, this young lady who was in her hundreds, he died of COVID-19. But then we got on the news, a lady was 97, I think, 96, something like that. She recovered from COVID-19, and the weirdest thing about it, she was only in the hospital for 10 days or a week, something like that. But then we hear that when you go into isolation, you're meant to be in isolation for 14 days, and this is not just here in Australia, but it's everywhere in the world. It's 14 days, yeah. So it really makes me think. And the other thing was out there I've heard lately is here in Australia they're keeping some planes going, and I find that really is interesting itself, because where are they going to go? You can't go to state, and if you go to state, aren't you breaking your own rules here? Because it's meant to be related to the government. I don't know, but it's meant to be related to the government. Then it leads to this other story on the news. No, this was on Facebook. Granted, it's a nice story. I do like this story. It's about someone who had Down syndrome. She turned 21 because she was in isolation like everyone else in this country. You couldn't go out, yeah. And so they got there for her 25th birthday. Her friends, and I'm assuming her co-workers, I could be wrong, but her friends got in their car and just drive past her house, haunting their car, wishing her a happy birthday and all that. Like I said, this is so nice. I must admit, it's a nice thought. I mean, you can't go out, why not do something else? If this was any other issue, like maybe she had the flu, or someone did catch something and she might have had it, or just had a bad week where she got sick and she can't go. That's good, yeah, that's good. But when you go out in a car, just going up someone's street, wishing them a happy birthday in this situation, isn't that breaking the law? Isn't that not going into isolation? So you do, yes, you're wishing someone's happy birthday, it's a nice thing, but is it really important? Is it really important to go up someone's road, haunt the car, horn, and wish someone a happy birthday? Now, yes, like I said, it's a lovely idea, but is it that important? So this is what I'm saying to people out there. It's good to say all these things in the media, but is it back in your situation? Is it does it make sense? Yeah, and that's one of the things I think about. And it's interesting, and one of the things I picked up last night, I'm thinking about the COVID-19, how this got wide across the world, right? Like, I'm hearing things from people I would never hear before. I did something with this one group of people, did it for about 3 months, and I didn't expect anything back from them, yeah? Once the COVID-19 started, I hear from this person, from the group, and go, okay. So, yeah, so it's really interesting how much the media is getting from this. It doesn't matter if it's public or the media itself, like, it doesn't matter if it's someone related to the media or not. And that's quite interesting, I thought. And it leads into this story, and it's interesting. I've got this thing on Facebook. We all know who Ellen DeGeneres is. If you don't know who she is, she's a host on her own TV show in America. It's kind of like Oprah, but she's big, but not as big as Oprah. She is a good person. I like her. 100% I like her. And the story last night was on Facebook. I'm going to give you a heads up, I really don't think it was her. I think it was someone else just doing this to get something out of it, yeah. What they did, they got a picture of Ellen DeGeneres. I think she's writing out checks. I could be wrong here, just writing out checks. And underneath there was pictures of money in it, right? And they said in this Facebook thing is put the first letter of your name down and you can win some money or get some money, right? That's all fine. I just read that, and I for me, I just clicked on the pictures, and I going down, look at the pictures, I'm looking at the money itself. So, and it just appeared to me with this money, it's blue and red. Now, I went to America in 2005 and 2000 to do a summer camp. And back then they had green, black and white notes, right? In this picture, it had colour notes, blue and red. And I thought, that's interesting, yeah? So I thought, I'll just Google and say, have you changed your money in America? Because I seen, only money I seen, it was these colours. And then I look at the comments and viewers who looked at this Facebook thing. I think it was over 1.5Ks of viewers and people who comment on this, and I'm assuming to get the money. It was all about the letters, because like my letter was my letter was $7 million. Now, if I took this serious, I would have put my name down and I would have liked that $7 million. But I knew it was a fake. But what really drawn to me is size, the notes being a different colour, how much people looked at this and how many people comment on it. And it's interesting how if you give a free away, like $7 million, how much comments and people look at this and react towards it. Then it leads into, it's interesting how bad news gives you more feedback and more viewers to watch it, and it kind of leads back to the COVID-19. I thought, that's quite interesting, and it's true. Like, if you look at the whole COVID-19, how bad it is out there, about the stories and that, people will love it up, they will read it. But if you think of something small, like my neighbour came across and gave me flowers, and they put that on YouTube, Facebook, you reckon people are going to look at that? No. There's another story out there, there's a lady who wears gloves, and she's talking about cross-examination with gloves, where you put your gloves on, you go and touch something, then you touch your face and hands and do all these things, you cross-examinate it. And then you just need to wash your hands. And it's a good story, but I think, how many people would have watched that? I'm sure there wouldn't be many, where something like Ellen DeGeneres and the bad news related to COVID-19, people will watch it. It's just something about it, and I thought, it's really interesting, because I've got this other thing on YouTube, and we all want, and it's based on, and it's true, we all want peace and harmony in our life, we want to help each other, but 90% of us will follow the bad news, not the good news, and I thought that's quite interesting in itself, yeah? So, I just want to share that with you. The other thing I looked into today, and like I said, I talked about Big Brother, and it's really interesting. Every country that I know who have they have the COVID-19, it's connected to the media to Australia. Now you're going to say, no. Yeah, because not India, America, there's another country out there, it's connected to Big Brother. They have their own connection. The MasterChef have been going for 30 years, I heard the other night, and it started in Britain. Today's show, it's in Britain. There's a lady her partner or her husband, her husband or her dad is in the hospital and serious ill related to the COVID-19. They don't know is he going to stay on or not, yeah. So it's pretty big, when you hear it. And Big Brother has a Big Brother, Britain has a Big Brother show there too. So I was thinking about this morning when I saw the ad for Big Brother. It's still coming on in Australia. And this is my theory. It is my theory. This is not on the news. It's just a theory I have, alright? And I have to say it because I don't want someone to put it out there and say, 9 said this, 10 said this. No one said it. It's just my theory here. I wonder, and it sounds really silly, because I wonder if this all connected to Big Brother in a sense, instead of having like you 10 people in a house locked down, can or can't do things. This is Big Brother watching you kind of thing. I wonder if it's like a Big Brother watching a town or a country or a number of countries. Because it was another thing. It was in here, and I think it was Britain or America. I could be wrong here. In America, they told, there was on Big Brother, they told the housemates that about the COVID-19, and with the Big Brother one in that country, they did it an hour show on it. I'm not knocking them for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking them for it. They have their own way of doing things in that country. But again, we do it differently, and we was in that situation where COVID-19 was going, and they told the housemates in here. So I'm wondering if it's just for a show. Is it just for a show? I know some of this will go on your medical shows, with school. I'm telling you, it will go on these shows. Had it been on Dancing with the Stars. So I wonder if it's all related to shows that's going to go on later on in the future, like your Big Brother, things like that. Like, I don't watch it, honestly, but MasterChef, there's nothing in it at all. The only thing that's different there to now, they got something Ramsay. You know, he's a cook in Britain or London. He swears on his TV shows. You know him when you see him. But that's it, like, yeah, so I'm wondering, this is just for shows. I'm wondering if it's just a build up with things. I reckon it might be a build up with Big Brother. And I could be wrong here, but I'm just looking at it and I'm going, because isn't Big Brother about locking people down, or like locking a house down with about 10 people in the house, and just doing certain things that you can or can't do in Big Brother. I wonder if it's the same thing. Like, I remember an episode when it was on 10, well, now it's on 7, but this was on when it's 10 with Gretel in it. And that's the thing here in Australia, you got your Gretel, and I did have a dream, I think I have it on Facebook. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it's on Facebook. I had a dream about Gretel and Julie. Julie's this psychic lady, was on the one, and she's been overseas that I know of. But the two were together, and I'm wondering if this is all connected to that, because it's interesting. Julie and Gretel works for Channel 7. I don't know if Julie still works for Channel 7, but I know Gretel works for Channel 7. They do have a different host for Big Brother on that show, but again, you know, there's a lot of things click more with that, and it is a COVID-19 situation to me. So I thought that. And the other thing was, this was when it was on Channel 10, they had an episode where they were only allowed to have a certain amount of money to buy their food. There was another episode on it, and I think it was the same season, where they're only allowed to have certain food in the house. Now, doesn't that sound familiar to you? Like, you can only get a certain amount of toilet paper. You only get one roll of one pack of toilet paper, not one roll, one pack of toilet paper. 2 packets of rice, 1 pack of 1 kilo, one packet of milk. You know, that sounds very familiar to me. So that's why I'll share this with you and see what you think. That sounds familiar. If you don't know what Big Brother is, just Google Big Brother Australia, Big Brother America, but put this year or it was 2000, I think it was, them years, 2000 or 2020 or 2019, because I know Americans were just going into it before all this happened. So I will look into it. It's quite an interesting show, and it is about a troll. But granted, they did sign up for this. These people did sign up for this. But in of it is about a show. There is a lot of people out there who don't have that luxury. They don't have that thing there where they can go out and as an everyday thing. Like if you aren't with what do you call it, with government funding stuff, like if you're on New Start allowance or whatever they call it in America, 9 out of 10 you only got a limit of money. I mean, you can't just go out and use it for whatever. So stopping that from that person just doing your everyday living, like going out and getting toilet paper, it's really hard for them. And basically now I know with certain shops out there who is putting their prices up, and again that's really hard for these people who don't have the luxuries, can just in your normal day go out and just buy whatever, but putting the prices up and you still have your amount of money and you only have certain dates. Like perfect example, if you're on a pension or you're on a disability pension, you have your Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays you can go to Coles and Woolworths in the morning between 7 and 8. But imagine if you're a person and you don't want to take the have a trial idea, like you don't want to go in with a lot of people around you, and you're not an early person, you have to think about what you want to do. Do you want to take the risk and go somewhere where it might not have toilet paper, or leave early in the morning that I'm not used to? I'm going to be very tired and go to the shops. So in that, it's really hard for someone who not used to just your normal days and don't have that, you have your limitations to, you almost don't have any limitations. Like nurses and doctors, the perfect example, people work in health professionals where they've got their Tuesday and Thursday, they can go in between 7 and not 8 to go shopping at Coles and Woolworths. That's good and dandy, but imagine if you were the person that worked in morning shift or an after night shift. That's pretty hard. It's really hard. And that's what I'm saying to people out there, media out there. You're not really thinking. You're not really standing back and saying, does this make sense? Is this harming people? You're not really thinking about it at that side. And that's why I put that out there for you all. And that's pretty much for today. It's a very basic thing, but it's really interesting what's out there and what makes people think. Like I said, you got, if it's a good giveaway, you get a lot of people feedback from your Facebook. If it's an upsetting thing, like COVID-19 or it's the end of the world kind of thing, you get a lot of feedback. And if it is crap, you get a lot of feedback. A lot of people will listen to it. If it's a good little thing like Margaret's gonna get married tomorrow, no one gives a rat's ass, do they? Like, it's really interesting how mind works. But we want peace and harmony in our life. But we listen to bad news. We listen to gossip. A lot of it's not facts. And it made me think, and it led me into them two stories. And yeah, as I said, we are following each other, and it's really interesting. So, me myself, like we all know, I don't like politics, and I always said to people out there, it's like here in Australia, we just follow America, we just follow it. And I remember one day, Donald Trump did something, or said that, and I'm like, oh, it's really made me thinking. I hope we don't follow him in this situation we haven't at this stage. I can't remember what it was, but it was something simple. But then there was another good one, I must admit, where the gay rights, I call it gay rights, where a couple of same sex can go out and get married. They can a dog, a kid living together, have the same wife, so everyone else. Now I remember watching that and I'm thinking, I hope we follow that one. So that's a good one. But normally I hear things like that and it's all negative related to politics and it's normally American thing. Okay. Don't follow that one, don't follow that one. So it's interesting. I know this is not, most of this is not related to politics, but it made me think. And I have heard on the news that there is an election in America. I heard there is one here in Australia too, so it's be interesting if this does connect to that later on in the future, see how we go with it. But I thought I want to share that with you. So it's pretty much my theory in is this all connected to Big Brother or not. See what we see in the next. Well, here in Australia, we might be more calm in 3 weeks. Things might be opening, but it sounds like it's starting to do that instantly anyway from what I heard on the 7 News. So see what happens, and yeah. And I'll leave another one for tomorrow and just leave your thoughts if you have a thought on it. So see you tomorrow. Bye.